Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from River TV.
Hold on, so y'all remember Auntie, right? You know, the woman that lusted over Usher at the concert and
I'm not sure which one. It's like so many women.
embarrassed her man in the process?
Okay.
Well, come to find out, her husband filed for divorce.
A
My man.
45-year-old woman was at that Usher concert sitting on the front row. As normal, that's
Usher
what
has
the trap
done it
is.
again.
And she was so provocative. And the things she was doing, guess what her husband say? It's over with. I want a divorce. The husband said, and all the time, all the years they've been together, I'm assuming they've been married a long time. That man said she ain't never treated him like that out in public.
That's how men can see things nowadays is Usher.
What's up,
Opening up
guys?
people's
It's your girl
eyes, I
Riva,
guess.
and I'm back again with another video. So, if you guys have not seen this viral
I have
video
not.
of Usher's most recent concert in which this older woman lost her mind, I'm basically going to show it to you guys. But apparently, in regards to this whole situation, her actual husband filed for divorce from her based off of the interaction that her and Usher were having at his show. So here we can see, that Usher is kind of like seducing this person, obviously based off of the interaction that she was showcasing him. He obviously thought it was okay. She's, saying all these things.
Freaking Usher, man. Like, the worst. Stop it, Usher. Stop it. Get some help.
Basically like, oh boy, you don't know what I'll do. That kind of situation. Obviously I cannot play it because she's singing the song and there's lyrics going on and stuff like that. But here they are, basically he's serenading her and this woman is acting like she's having a conniption. First of all,
She's like rubbing on, I don't even know what she's rubbing on.
initially saw this clip, because there's more that I have to play, I was getting secondhand embarrassment. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was getting secondhand embarrassment. When you kind of have to peek through the fingers to kind of look at it because it's like a train wreck, like you just can't help but keep watching, but you so desperately want to look away. That's how I felt. Okay, and to know that allegedly this woman is actually married makes the situation even more crazy and embarrassing. So again, she's doing all these things with her body, the direct eye contact, a little bit scary. Okay, she is trying to go for it. I don't know if this is her way of like helping him put on the show, or if she thought that this was like, attractive and seductive. It seemed scary to me. Okay, it seemed like this woman needed a tranquilizer. It seemed like
She's a wild beast. We need to put her down with the drinks.
she needed to be tamed and calmed down. This was a lot. Okay, this was absolutely a lot that was going on. And, a lot of people hide behind the guise of, this is just a celebrity and, y'all women think too much, or this is supposed to be a fun experience. And, I don't understand why women are not allowed to have fun. This is why.
Can you imagine if a guy was doing this to some random woman in front of you? Like your husband doing this. Would you not feel a way about this?
And this is just my personal opinion. Okay? I cannot be wrong for my opinion. But in my personal opinion, I have to say it because people will be in the comment sections telling me I'm wrong about how I feel. I don't agree when women have these, male celebrity crushes that they constantly, parade around in front of their husbands about, and like, everybody knows that if this person gets around me, I'm gonna need a hall pass. Like, I've never agreed with that. Because celebrity or not, that's a man. Okay? And I am of the belief system that whoever you are in a relationship with, that should be the ultimate man for you.
Agreed.
That should be the man that you have the ultimate eyes for. Okay? You should not be giving this imaginary situation access to you, to your body, to all these things just because of the fact that they have a platform. right? That's just my personal opinion. I don't think that men should see those situations and take it lightly. Okay?
And I don't. Tell you the truth. Like I had an ex that was about Chris Brown. It was Chris Brown. It was the one that she chose, or I mean her thing. She's like, oh, if I ever see Chris Brown, I'm just like, all right, then that means go off and go see Chris Brown, because that is just a stupid way to go about things.
The last time we saw a situation like that, most recently, was the woman who literally put Chris Brown in her wedding vows.
Well, we finally made it to the day. The day when I give up all my dreams on Chris Brown.
Having this man have an honor for you in which he, give you the ultimate, badge of honor, letting it known that, like, I'm here to serve, protect, lead, guide, cover you in all ways. And
that is pretty crazy to have a valve in the middle, in front of everybody like that, talking about another man.
I'm going to make you my wife. And to know that you are making a joke on that day of your commitment, that you're basically settling for him because you don't have access to, actually being in the relationship with somebody who you wanted to be with, is diabolical.
It is.
Okay? It's crazy. And we all know he does the cherry thing, right? And before I even get into that, from what I've seen, he actually has a section, right? So if you're not okay with the whole cherry thing, then you don't sit in a certain section of the show. And how I know that is because I saw another video in which a woman was like, flashing her wedding ring at him or whatever the case is. And he was basically like, you in the cherry section. So if you don't want to be over here and you want us to move your seat, you let us know.
We just have a one here. Now, I told you this is the cherry on top, the section. So if you don't want to get the cherry, you okay? Okay.
Now, I have to be honest, Usher is an entertainer. I love Usher's music, okay? And I understand the fact that he has a duty to put on a show. This has now become like an attraction at his shows that, people are coming to see. Women are coming to participate.
I feel like this is like the Chris Brown taking pictures after the show section, but now it's during the show section where you get to get fondled and all this with them.
And it is not Usher's responsibility for you to respect your own marriage.
True.
Okay, that don't got nothing to do with this man. This man's there to do a job.
She right.
If you single and you partaking in
I take it back, Usher. You're maybe not being that bad. You just doing your thing.
In these freaktivities, that's up to you. Okay? But it is up to you to know if you are somebody's wife, you to know if you are married, and if you respect your husband enough that you are not going to display certain behaviors that will disrespect him. Okay? So here we can clearly see this woman doing the most. Like I said, she's acting like she is in the desert thirsty. Okay? And the only way that she can get her thirst quenched is by Usher doing this foolishness with her. It's embarrassing. Okay? Humiliating. To know that allegedly, okay, it has been circulating that this woman is a married woman and was displaying all of these traits for another man, celebrity or not. I could see why this man divorced her or filed for divorce.
Agreed.
It was even alleged that this person said, her soon to be ex-husband basically said that she's not even a person who participates in PDA. She don't do hand holding, none of that. But she had the audacity to do all this in front of everybody and disrespect me to that bad.
Damn, if it's like to that degree, then yes. If she's never even held your hand or anything throughout the whole time you were married, and then she does this with Usher, and it gets recorded and blasted everywhere, yeah, you definitely look like a boo-boo the fool.
Magnitude, yeah, I'm over it. I don't blame him. Okay? This reminds me of the girl who was at the concert with her boyfriend and was doing the absolute most. Now it's kind of like, fighting with your imagination of what you think could be going on. And this woman is back there. He done took off his shirt. So now she over here doing the most for him behind the curtain. Let me just remind you guys, her boyfriend is sitting on the front row. That woman was at the concert with her man, basically manipulated the situation to convince him to even take her to said concert, which I'm sure he paid for. purposely sat in a certain section that she knew that she would get called on stage, and was willing to do the utmost only for that man who was the celebrity, the singer, to send her right back down there to her man. Based off of all the backlash to whatever the case, that man dumped her and didn't look back. It's so funny to me because women do not want me to have these conversations because women want it to be a thing where it's deemed as normal. It's okay.
Correct.
It's a normal thing. And
shout outs to you, Riva, for calling it out as is.
Nobody should have a
That's why
problem
we
with
love
it
your
because they
channel.
want to be able to indulge in these things with no man having a certain standard for his relationship, right? Like, for example, like if all women say that oh it's normal for you to have a crush on these celebrities and go and do the most, then all these women have the past to be able to do that. And if it goes further, there's no problem. But there's such a contradiction because if this was the Turner, if that was Janet Jackson, okay, and that was a man who was absolutely married and these things were going on, women would be, trying to cancel Janet.
Correct.
Women would be trying to, tarnish this man's character. They would have found out where that man worked and got him fired from his job. They would have done the most. Oh, one thing these men do will embarrass you. Like, women always have these sayings when it comes to men, but why don't women ever talk about the fact that these women will embarrass you too?
Yep.
And disrespect you simultaneously. Now, I have to say alleged because I've seen, different places where this conversation has, been around. This woman was allegedly married and her husband filed for divorce. I don't know, but if it's true, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got to say. All I have to say is I don't blame him. I completely understand where he's coming from.
Shout outs to that gentleman for leaving if this story is true, because I'll tell you the truth, a lot of men don't have the gumption or the balls to leave long-term relationships like that, especially marriages, because it's going to be a detriment to you. Obviously she's going to get a good chunk of everything you've earned. So, but that act right there, diabolical. If this was true and she was married and all that, no PDA, as a husband to see that, yeah, I'd walk away too. Please subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that, and I catch you guys next time.